Boom! What's up, everybody? This is DTM of Delta Tango Mike. Welcome to another stream, another art battle. We're going to be ready to battle it out. This is a DTM versus art battle show. Today, we're going to be battling it out with Adobe Photoshop. Ugh. I think this is my second time with Adobe Photoshop in the art battles. That's all right. I'll take any contender and battle in their favorite Adobe app. Do you want to be next? You let me know. You let me know. We treating this like the old school wrestling shows on TV. I think they still do that today, where they really get all hype and flustered on television. All right, but I'm not gonna go too far into that. This is Adobe Live. I am DTM. Welcome everybody. Let me give a shout out to all the cool folks already joining us here today on Behance. If you're watching this on Behance and leaving comment in the chat, I'm gonna give you a shout out. Big ups to Annika for rocking the moderator chat for today. I appreciate that. Umacorn in the house. Clever, thank you for stopping through. That's right, knock him out. Clever. Clever says knock him out. Hey Dan, hey Jimmy, says Garrett. Thank you, Garrett, for stopping through. Appreciate you. And of course, Annika's dropping the Jimmy Flame website address here on the chat, so make sure you go check him out, and we're gonna get that in a minute. Go DTN Go, says Pixie Pew. There you go. I've been blessed by Pixie Pew. That's it. I've win all challenges from now on out. There we go. I appreciate that. Mwandwa, how are you doing? Hey, SLP Price, thank you for stopping through. Appreciate all of you. And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure that you leave a like and subscribe to Adobe Live on YouTube, where you see great content just like this and much, much more. Okay, without further ado, let me introduce our guest. What's up, guest? How are you doing today?
Doing good, man. How's it going? Great to be here.
Yes, yes. I'm glad you made it through. I appreciate you coming in and taking up the challenge. That is Jimmy Flame. Find him anywhere on the internet. Jimmy Flame 77. He's got that red background. It's on fire.
It's on fire. I'm ready to go, man. I'm hot. Let's rock and roll.
You're hot. That's right. He's ready. Okay. So here are the rules. Let me show you guys the rules for today. The rules are that you check for the hashtag DTM versus on Delta Tango Mike and on Jimmy Flame 77 Instagram or Twitter. And the rules of the art battle today is we start with a sketch. We will draw and have fun, and we have a limit of 1 hour. At the end of that hour, we will give you guys a chance to see the artwork at that time, but make sure that you follow and vote for your favorite on social media, because we will finish the artwork offline and post the link to vote. And the most vote by August, what is we now? July, August, yes, August 1st wins. I had the date wrong for last competition. And just before we jump into this drawing competition, I will tell you this, that Keith Cross won last week's competition. The voting was 107 to 87 at noon today. Lost by 20 points, but it was 100 votes. Can you believe that, Jimmy Flame?
That's close.
It's close.
Close.
It's close, but it's 100 votes.
No, it is. But just think about just one little push, right? So the voting closes today. Is it already closed?
It already closed at noon. Yeah, it closed at noon.
Oh, okay. So it's close, man. You got to push harder next time. You're going to have to push a lot harder than that, for this one. So.
Oh, it's got to push harder than that.
Hey, you said bring that wrestling stuff, so baby, we got it going on.
That's right. Bring that wrestler stuff. So tell us about our theme and our process here for today, Jimmy Flame.
Absolutely. So the theme is kind of, we're doing a comic strip in Photoshop. And the theme that I thought of was do something AI, but not necessarily use AI, right? Because Adobe has Firefly coming out. It's in beta right now. People are using it. It's pretty cool. And I just thought it'd be funny to do a comic where a kid comes up in the world, and in order to visit an art museum, he's got to wear VR goggles and go to the AI art museum. So that's the theme behind the comic.
Okay. All right. Nice. And so you have 4 panels. They're breaking down the story. You want to take us through each panel, and what's going on there?
Yeah. So I got my establishing shot up here. This is going to be the kid and the adult in a museum. So that's not going to be virtual reality. It's going to sort of be like they're at a museum. But then the cut scene is going to be the kid and the adult wearing VR goggles in a kitchen, right? and then there's going to be some dialogue between the two of them. The kid's going to be sort of wondering, like, "Oh, what are we looking at here?" And then down here is going to be the reveal of the painting of what the kid's looking at. And I wanted to stick to the, you go into AI, you'll type in some commands, and you can get some wacky stuff.
Yeah.
So I rolled with this. I thought, flying spaghetti some sort of spaghetti monster with a zillion arms, and disproportionate, because you know how AI can be really disproportionate and funky looking and childlike in a way sometimes, with its output. So I rolled with that, and and then the kid's gonna proclaim that it's a masterpiece, that it's the greatest piece of art ever created, and he's still gonna be standing in the kitchen with the VR goggles.
Okay. So that's the joke, that the first panel you think that you're in the museum.
Exactly. Yeah.
But you are already in the VR space, and now we see it from the point of view of the real world, where the people are wearing the VR headset.
Exactly. Yeah, they're wearing the
see.
VR goggles, and they're actually in a virtual museum looking at AI art. And the kids, and this is the first time the kids, I kind of thought about the first time I went to a museum when I was a kid, and I was just astonished, by just how amazing everything looked. And I was trying to like sort of fit that into like this kid's first visit to the museum, just being like amazed at like, all the AI artwork hanging on the walls.
Right. But he's still in the kitchen. He's still in the kitchen.
But he's still he's in the kitchen. They're just chilling in the kitchen, going, visiting the museum.
Nice. There you go. Good. Just to answer a couple questions in the chat. Thank you, Melissa, for stopping through. Appreciate you. Hello, Mwendwa is asking, where's the voting done? The voting will happen, and will be available in a couple of days once we finish the artwork offline and share it. You can start drawing now, Jimmy Flame, if you're ready, because I'm about to share my story in a second. But once we finish the artwork offline in the next day or two, then the voting will begin, and you got to follow us, either Delta Tango Mike, and you'll see the names right below our video of ourselves, and they're crooked, but that's okay. And then Jimmy Flame, our names are way off. I moved the video and I didn't fix the names. There you go. That's what happens with live streams. Now. That's right. All right, now I'm gonna share my story, and so when Jimmy Flame told me about the challenge about the comic strip, he said something about VR and AI. And there's a big battle going on the internet about AI and no AI and so on. So I labeled the theme Sunday Funnies because it was a comic strip. And then I labeled, I titled my comic as Don't Copy My Art, a Simulacra and Simulation episode. Something like that. Think of the Matrix. And so basically, Baudrillard, I don't know how to say that. It's French. Jean Baudrillard said, current society has replaced all reality and meaning with symbols and signs, and the human experience is a simulation of reality. And that's exactly what Jimmy Flame just drew, and this is my take on it. In the BC era, we had one caveman working on the wall, another caveman taking notes, and the caveman on the wall says, don't copy me. All right, don't copy my art. And then in the Renaissance era, we had Michelangelo up in the Sistine Chapel painting the creation of Adam. And he's looking down from his scaffolding to the person taking notes. And Michelangelo says, don't copy me. And then we got a traditional artist painting in the digital era. We have a traditional artist painting on canvas, looking back at somebody taking notes and doing some drawings. And so, of course, the traditional artist, is telling the digital artist, because he's in the surface, because he's got the little kickstand. He's telling the digital artist, don't copy me. And then in the AI era, now we have a robot painting on the canvas, and another robot thinking up of the ideas, and one robot tells the other robot, don't copy me. Whoa.
Love it. Love it.
Oh, yes, there it is. It's a twist at the end. Thank you, Melissa. I appreciate you. Thank you, Annika. Annika says, oh, my MG. And Melissa does say, love this imagination, Jimmy. And that escalated quickly, DTM. That's right, Annika. It escalated quickly. And so I have all of my sketches in different layers for the robot and in the backgrounds. And so I do want to clean up this right here because this idea has changed. So let's go like this. And I got something else I want to do here. Then I go ahead and get my pencil. We're using basic Photoshop tools. I have my brushes here. That's a pen. Where is the pencil? Pencil, charcoal, pencil. Here we go, pencil. And
I'm using some of the Kyle T. Webster stuff on this.
I'll use all Kyle T. Webster brushes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and if you know anything about the Photoshop brushes, is if you have Clip Studio Paint, you can import Photoshop brushes into Clip Studio Paint. This is crazy. Okay, I need an eraser again. Hold on.
And Fresco.
And in Fresco, right, in
I
Fresco.
love going back and forth between the two.
And I did sketch out this this artwork in Adobe Fresco. I did use Fresco.
Oh, so you're at an advantage now.
I wouldn't say it's an advantage, but I love Fresco. I love how easy it is to use Fresco, and so I use Adobe Fresco. Let me see. I'm trying to use the pencil brush setting.
The live brushes, yeah. And full disclosure, since you disclosed that, I did a test run last night.
Oh yeah, a new test run on.
Make sure I had my brushes.
Make sure it was working.
You know?
Right. Make sure it was working. Yeah. No, you're right. It's that's what I should have done. I should have worked on this with there we go. Come on, there we go. That's and I'm getting the wrong pencil here. Why? Why is that a pencil? Ultimate. There we go. Let's go with that.
Happy trees in the background painting. Some Bob Ross happy trees.
Bob Ross happy trees.
Yes, I went there. Love me some Bob Ross, man.
That's
Who
right.
doesn't, right?
Happy trees.
See what that looks like. Yeah, that'll work.
And so this guy is having ideas. I had to redraw my robot at the end because I wanted to have a light bulb. So this is kind of like a light bulb. It doesn't translate as a light bulb. Let me try it again. So what I'm gonna do is, come on, get the eraser. I'm still messing about with my final sketch, only because I had an idea, and my wife gave me, and I want to do it. There you go. So that's what it should be. It should be a light bulb here. The head is a light bulb. There we go. And no neck. And there you go. Bam. Yes. And I can fix this. Okay. You know, I what I decided to do with this artwork was think of the idea, marinate on the idea for a while, and then do some sketches and slowly come up with something that worked. It took a while.
Yeah.
There it is. Boom. And then for the arm, he has like some wires. And it goes into this box. And then this box is let's go. It goes like this. And so he's having he's plugged in. Right there. Got it. Good. There's my final. Bam. Okay. Got it. There's my whole comic strip. And
now you're ready to rock. All right.
Yes, it's back. Yes, thank you, Annika. Jimmy's camera did go crazy because computers. That's why I blame the computer. All right, let's see what Jimmy's doing. Jimmy's already on the exhibit. Do not touch. He's laying out the
laying out the initial ink. I'm gonna do just kind of like a flat layer here, and then I'm gonna come behind it and add weight to everything.
That's what I was thinking about doing. You're stealing my style.
No, I do that standard stuff, man. Come on, man. Hey, and then you know how in the copy that Adobe put out where it said "Art for All." Instead of writing "Do not touch" here, I'm gonna write "Art for All."
Art for all. Okay.
Yeah, a little homage to that. Oh yeah, and I forgot to tell you what I'm calling this little comic strip.
What are you calling it?
The Adobes.
Oh my!
the
family is called Adobes.
Yeah, that's their name. The Adobes, and and this episode is called something about a museum visit. I haven't come up with anything fancy yet, but I'm pretty sure I'll come up with something. Art for all.
Art for all. Melissa is asking, are you both going to animate this as well on the stream? Melissa?
That's a tall order. That's gonna take more than an hour.
Yeah, we're going to need a week, please.
Yeah, we're gonna need Adobe to bring us back a whole bunch of times.
Yeah.
For each process. The animation is no joke. I love doing it, but yeah, it takes a while.
Yes, it does. Let me see if I can find the brush that I want. I think that's the brush I want. I
trying to
do
remember what I
want
was
it
doing
to
with this
be
character.
a 13. Yeah. And so, what brush exactly are you using? Do you have, is there a name for that one? Do you have it
Yes, it's
specific?
Kyle's Manga Basic.
Kyle's Manga's Basic. Oh,
Yeah,
okay, okay.
it's
That's
part
right.
of this whole set that he's got out. There's all kinds of like fill circles and like kind of like line fills, and it's just a really cool set.
Mm,
I love drawing with it,
mm.
especially this
Okay.
inker because there's a grit to this inker that I've had a hard time trying to recreate with other brushes, and um, I like to add a little dirt to my stuff, because in my mind I'm drawing clean, but what actually comes out because of the tool usage is a
Mm-hmm.
lot dirtier.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say let the dirty drawings begin.
Oh
Cause
yeah,
man,
there we
trying to
go.
hurry up and draw this fast in an hour is insane. So here we go. I'm going to draw one of my Neanderthals. I did do a quick drawing I had the other day because I was testing the idea. Let's see, where did he go? Right there. There you go. Right there. There he goes. Right there. Ah!
Yeah, that looks
He's
good.
mad. He's like, what? Don't copy my art. And there it is. I turn down the opacity and I come in with a boom. The only thing is that I think that resolution could have been greater. So I may have to fix that for a second. Let me see. Image size. Oh, it's at 72. You got me. You got me. Let's go 300. 8,000. Let's see. Okay. There it goes. It's working. It's working. We'll take a look at Jimmy Flame while this is happening here.
I'm just laughing at the head that I drew on this person. It's a little large, but I'm gonna go with it. Sometimes you got to roll with the mistakes, right?
Yep, that's right. Just roll with it, yo. There we go. My resolution has worked. Up and up my resolution. Let's see. There you go. Okay, so now I can go with a 10. Boom. What I do like about the brush settings is that it does show you. It keeps track of the brush sizes that you last used, so you can just go back and tap it, and boom, you're in.
Oh yeah.
There you go. So there it is.
Do some preemptive ink shading in here because I already know I'm going to do it.
Let's do that. Let's go like that, and then
Just some fast strokes.
I love the fact that you have all that pressure sensitivity. What kind of device are you drawing on?
So I have a Huion 22 Plus as kind of my main desktop go-to.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Adobe Creative Cloud, and then I also have an iPad Pro um, that I mainly use for Fresco, but I also use the Fresco on desktop.
Okay.
Yeah, I love the seamless sharing of files because I can start here, and if I want to, go sit on the couch and doodle away or finish something up on the couch, I can move over to that and just use my iPad pretty seamlessly.
Uh huh.
And just of course using a smaller medium kind of gives you different ideas too. You have a different perspective of what you're drawing just from the size alone.
Uh huh.
So I like to bounce back and forth between the two. And then also with Photoshop, if you rasterize your layers, you can open it up in iPad Pro on Fresco.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually change between Photoshop and Fresco fairly easily as well.
Yes. Yes. Sometimes you just need the simplicity of the fresco brushes and
Exactly.
options. Yes. Yes. Don't complicate my life, Photoshop.
It's just keeping you in check. That's all.
That's yeah. Yeah.
Like we're gonna make you think a little bit here.
Boom. There we go. So it looks good. So yeah, you're adding in the elements in there.
Some little sculptures in a glass case down here, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think I'm gonna do something about this hand. New layer. And I didn't notice how I lost this hand. Let's do that again. Boom.
All right, cool.
Got it. All right. So I got my little guy here. And how many
Oh,
layers
nice.
do you usually work in? Do you work on a lot of layers?
I try to
Um,
keep it as simple as possible.
mm-hmm.
So I have, my background that's blank right now because I'm going to use that to sort of create a gradient in the background when it's all said and done.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got my blue sketch, which is just a scribble. And then I have a sketch above it just in case I need to fix anything. I try to just keep those separate. Then I just have an ink highlight and shadow layer and a flat layer.
Okay.
And then for this piece, for panels, I drew the panels on top of the whole thing. And how I achieved the line work was I just did sort of a bucket fill. I kind of drew around with the magic wand with the lasso tool of
Okay.
where I knew the bubbles were going to be. So if I get rid of this, you can see I have bubbles and
Oh,
dialogue
okay.
and everything in
Okay.
there. So I drew around that where I knew the panels were going to land, and then I just filled it in and then added the strokes.
Mm-hmm.
I just added a stroke layer. You know, you can do that in the effects. And it works out nicely because it'll disguise. You can draw behind it, and not draw into the panel, but you can draw behind it and get that effect of drawing behind the panel. And
Right.
all it is an overlay, really.
Okay. Okay. Look at
So
you.
yeah, I try to keep like I said, I try to keep the layering as simplest as few as possible.
It's easier to keep track, huh?
Easier to
Also.
keep track. I can kind of look, I can kind of glance over and know where everything's at.
Mm-hmm.
Just anything to speed up the process. To keep and also to keep the distractions low.
Mm.
'Cause, you'll be drawing, you'll look out the window and be like, "Oh, look at that cool animal outside or whatever," and next thing you know, you're taking 4 hours to do a 45-minute drawing.
uh, yeah, that's me.
At least me, that's how my brain works.
Boom. So that looks good. Yeah, yeah. So I'm just working with the inking right now, and I kept my text simple, the narration simple. So it's just a matter
Absolutely.
of drawing, and drawing. And there goes my caveman. He's not happy. And I move the arm around, and let's see. So merge some layers. Boom, boom, boom. So you remember going to the museum when you were a kid? What did you like
Yes.
about it?
Just because I've been drawing as far back as I remember, and just seeing like the possibility in real life of what you could do was really inspirational. Especially like I was really into the really abstract stuff because to me it seemed like you'd look at it and at a glance, and as a kid I'm thinking, oh, I could do that. I'll just splatter some colors all over the place,
Uh huh.
you know, before really thinking about what it was, and then just being inspired by seeing that, and it just just being amazed and wondered how people did things. Like I was a kind of kid. I'm still kind of that kind of person where I have to know like how things work.
Uh huh.
I got to know like if even if I see a artist, an artist stream, like I got to ask questions like how'd you do that? What's
Mhm.
your technique? Of course without trying to be aware and not be completely intrusive. But I'm just a
Mhm.
genuinely curious person. So if I get interested in something, like I have to know like everything about it.
Right. Right. And so your comic book interest began when? What happened?
Oh, geez, that's a tough one because cartoon like Saturday morning cartoons, at least in terms of the style, and then kind of like being exposed to just comic books in general. Of course, like Spider-Man, Batman,
Uh huh.
all the stuff. and then just wanting to do it.
Yeah. I always saw the artwork, and it's like, oh, that's beautiful. It's amazing. It looks like, something is alive. And I
Yeah.
always wanted to figure out how. And I'm still amazed by animation to this day.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'm still trying to figure out how.
I can watch Melissa Showers and Pixie Pew every day, all day, and I'm still like, I don't know what's going on.
Right.
When I see what you're doing, and it's easy. It looks easy. It looks good. And then it's my turn to do it, and I'm like, I don't know where to. what
Exactly.
what
No,
happened?
it's not easy. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
But
oh man.
you gotta do it, man. You just gotta
Yeah,
do it.
yeah. Just try it. Just
Yep.
try it. But yeah, and that's how I feel about comics and even the comic strips. I call this my strip the Sunday Funnies, because that's how I remember reading the comic strips in the paper, every Sunday,
Oh yeah.
and it's like, man, that's amazing. That is amazing. With very simple lines, very simple process, little tiny illustrations, and they're powerful. Like that's a great story. I like that. Calvin and Hobbes
Oh yeah.
was one of that comes to mind.
Far Side. Remember the Far Side?
Yeah, the fire. That's
I
right. That's right.
love that one. Love that. I still do.
So yeah, it's definitely something that still inspires to this day, man. I'm always looking at this stuff like, yeah.
Yeah, I remember. You know, I don't remember exactly when the realization happened that I could do it, but I would always look at cartoons and comics and stuff and just thinking like that's something for somebody else. You know, they're super
Mhm.
talented. Like I'm just a consumer. I enjoy it, but also like deep down inside wanting to, figure out how.
Mhm. Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. You enjoy it as somebody who's looking and reading, but then the next question is like, how did they do that? What? Hold on. Give me that pencil for a second.
Exactly. And then there's the epiphany of like, well, just pick up a tool and start drawing.
Right. Just
I had a
try
really
it.
great art teacher in sixth grade. I remember being kind of the first person to, really encourage me to draw because I would just, draw in class and draw these silly doodles. I remember drawing a scene of like a dinosaur playing a guitar and like some wild looking cartoon character guy, like, saying, oh, that's jamming or whatever, just
Mhm.
silly stuff. And I remember he was the first person to kind of look over my shoulder and be like, you should stick with this.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't have like a ton of support outside of like art class,
Uh huh.
you know, in terms of like someone like encouraging me and saying, you should do that. Like it was, art was kind of looked at as like, something it wasn't like a reality to really do anything with. You did it to pass the time,
Right. Right. Right.
you know, it wasn't like taking that seriously. But my art teacher thought otherwise, and thank goodness he did because you know, just his encouragement has really stuck with me, my whole life.
Okay. Good. Good.
Dr. Chetlet was his name.
Okay.
He's probably the only teacher's name that I really remember
Right. The art teachers, huh?
without having to think about it.
Uh
Yeah.
huh.
So I always wonder. I was like, well, I wonder what he's up to these days. I wonder if
Wow.
he's still teaching somewhere. Or...
Melissa Showers has a question. Jimmy, what's your favorite cartoon, and which one has inspired you the most? Ooh, good question. Thank
Ooh,
you, Melissa, for that. Yeah.
ooh, that's a tough one. I love the DC Batman cartoons, like the kind of the ones from the I guess we can call it mid 2000s now. Is that appropriate?
Right. Yeah. Huh. Yeah.
Somewhere in there. I like the old Batman animated series. I like a lot of stuff, like the old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Of course, like old Mickey Mouse. I mean, I can't really pick one.
Mhm.
Gosh, that's such a. I'll pick one. I'm gonna go with, and it's not necessarily a cartoon, but Clone Wars, Star Wars, the
Oh
Clone
wow.
Wars
Uh
series.
huh.
I love,
Yeah.
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 The
Yeah.
storytelling in it is just it's so good, but it's so basic. But I think
Mhm.
that's really the essence and key to good storytelling is to keep it real basic. You can drop in on any episode and know what's going on.
Mhm.
I think that's
Mhm.
kind of the mark of good writing is not necessarily having to follow something from the beginning, but being able to insert yourself at any point in the story and just know pretty quickly what's going on.
Mhm.
and I think they do a really good job at that.
Yep. That's still good to watch right now.
Yeah, yeah, Clone Wars is great. That's pretty much why I have Disney.
Right,
Might be the
right.
only reason I
Yeah.
have it. So like, oh, they got the Clone Wars. That's justifies the $10 a month or whatever.
And Melissa Shower says, old Batman, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah, basically anything with like buggy eyes and wild looking. I like Garfield. I love Heathcliff. You remember that cartoon?
Yes, yes.
Like anything just wacky. That just kind of like relies on expression and just the exaggeration of everything to sort of get points across. Like
Uh huh.
I just love it. I just love wackiness. I suppose. I guess if I needed to describe what I enjoy in one word, it'd be either wacky or silly.
Right, right, right. Yep, yep. And Annika says, oh yes, that's right. Good old cartoons. But the 2000s was cool, but the 80s were better.
Oh yeah, got your He-Man,
That's right. Yes, GI Joe, and of
GI
course,
Joe. Yep,
yeah,
I still
yeah.
read the GI Joe comic,
GI.
especially the Snake Eyes stuff.
Uh huh. Uh huh. And Melissa says loved Heathcliff, and Melissa says your work reminds me of the old Ed and Eddie style mixing with Teen Titans.
Awesome. Hey, who, me or you?
I don't know. I think you're talking about me because that's what was on the screen for a second. But
Oh, gotcha. I was
yeah.
getting ready to say, oh, that's a very great, that's a great compliment for you.
I'll take it. Go ahead and take it. You can take it, bro. You
I'll
can take
take it.
that compliment.
I'll let it go
That's what
straight to my head.
There you go. So that's what I'd rather have. Let's see. Turn that off and go here. I'm playing around with different layers trying to get this. Melissa says we are all old. Annika says truth, truth.
I see it. We're just
Uh-huh.
dating ourselves right
Uh huh.
now,
Uh huh.
revealing our ages.
And Melissa says no, not Dan's, but Jimmy's. There you go. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Oh, thank you so much, Melissa. Thank you. That is a
Uh huh.
huge compliment
Mm.
because I do like me some Teen Titans. I love that style.
Mhm.
One of
Yeah.
my secret one of my secret little fantasies is being able to get hired to draw that stuff.
Right.
It's right up my alley.
No, they
For
have a
sure.
very stylized art style, so that's super cool.
Thank you.
Uh,
Yeah, I just try to like I let the lines bully me a little bit, but I try to push them around. Like I'll kind of like kind of right here, I'll get it in there, but I'll give it some I'll let it breathe a little. I won't do a full line.
uh huh.
Just kind of like etch my way across, and if I don't like where something lands, instead of necessarily erasing it, I'll just go back, like say right here, if I don't like this, I'll add like a speed line next to it or something and just kind of back up and be like, all right, that works, that fixes it.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
try to work with the lines as opposed to going against them. I like to just trust my hands and draw with the pen, so to speak,
Gotcha. Gotcha.
and not think too much. Because
Yeah.
there's time for thinking when you're done. When you got it laid out, you can start thinking then and be like, all right, cool, let's fix this color here, let's fix this here. But when it comes to the raw, getting the idea on there and getting the expression out, really, it's just go for it. Like push those lines around, let them push you, and go to battle.
Right. Right. Get a feel for them. Don't force it. 'Cause sometimes um it looks over like you're overthinking.
Yeah,
The,
exactly.
the artwork suffers.
And I'm a huge fan of imperfection. Like, don't get me wrong, I love like the crispy stuff that's out there, like the really pristine, kind of comic stuff that's really popular right now. But I love like, I love really like zooming in on that stuff, and you'll see where an artist like left a line that overlapped where it might not should have, or a crooked line or something. It's just like, yeah, there you
Mhm.
go. I almost
Mhm.
feel like they're waving at people like me, like, yep, we're still artists, you know.
Boom. So I finally got my one
And
one.
that whole dude, that is so the boom thing. I can't stop saying it
Oh, red.
every time I'll be drawing, even on my own stream. I'm like, boom, 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 and I'll have to stop and be
Boom.
like, hold on, I gotta represent DTM here because that's where I got that from.
That's right.
So I do represent, properly, I believe, on my stream when I do that stuff.
That's right. There you go. Represent, represent.
Go like that.
Sometimes the artwork does have sound effects.
Absolutely.
Who knew?
I talk to myself when I draw all the time, like little line here, be like, and for some reason it helps.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Rectangle tool. Got it. So, boom.
Yeah, don't be afraid to make your neighbors think you're crazy.
That's right. Boom. Let's go. And
Here,
then the fail stroke. And the stroke is gonna
look
be,
all right.
let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See? Let's see what that looks like. Bam. And come on. Put that under here. There we go. We got one thing at a time. Bam. Yes. Okay. So now I just need my caption. So the word bubbles you drew them with shapes in Photoshop.
Yeah, instead of drawing them out with like a vector circle or something like
Mm-hmm.
that,
Mm-hmm.
I just drew it into the pattern of the panels. See, they're all connected.
Nice. Oh, that's right. There you
Yeah,
go.
because part of the process with comic drawing and just strip drawing and stuff like that is like nailing down where your balloons are going to be, so you can kind of draw around it because you want the message to come across, right? You want the dialogue,
Mm-hmm.
to be the thing. You want people to be able to read it, right? So
Yeah.
figuring out where those balloons are going to land first, and then I always put them in there so I know exactly that's the boundary I'm not going to cross.
Mm.
And if I have to, it's going to be purposeful, like with the hair up here. Like I made a just an artistic choice to go ahead and let her head go into that bubble. So it just to me looked better than having the bubble floating above her head.
Mm-hmm.
Because I wanted to also give the piece as a whole like a congested type feeling because they're in this AI space,
Right.
in a small kitchen.
Right.
I didn't want it to be this big area. You know, the one exception being the establishing shot over here where they're like in this giant spacious art gallery. I went ahead and I let the bubble breathe a little bit over here, but the rest of it it's just all
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
purposefully crunched into the inking.
Okay. Very good. You got some skills over there. You get some
Well, you
real.
do. Hey, you do too, man. You know that. You be on here slaying people.
I try. I
I heard
try.
Melissa beat you though. Didn't she beat you?
Yes, yes. Melissa brought everybody.
I'm trying to join the
Everybody.
club, dude. I'm trying to join that club.
Uh huh. Yeah. That's right, right. You bring
Hey,
everybody.
I know that kind of I know what that
Uh
means.
huh. It was terrible.
Uh-huh. There's a difference between and mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, boy.
All right,
Oh my
let's get on to
gosh.
the spaghetti monster. This is my favorite part of this whole comic is getting this guy. Figuring what this guy is going to do.
Let me see. So I got my first um finally had my first panel done. Whew, took me a long time. But it's just basic lines.
Hey, you ain't got to hesitate, man.
Yeah, yeah, right, you're right. We don't have a whole lot of time. It's already 38 minutes in. Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
well, we are. All right, I better hurry up too because I
Oh,
at least wanted to get the inking
oh,
done.
I
At
will
least
bring
get my flat ink and then my weighted ink.
Right, right.
The weighted parts, that's pretty easy for me because I'm visualizing as I draw along like where it's going to
Mhm.
be thick and all that stuff. So
There we go. Melissa says, "I will bring no one to be fair for the rematch." And thank you, DTN. You're fired too. I appreciate that. And then Annika says that was funny. Get to know the difference, Jimmy. There you go.
there you go.
Mm-hmm. But
Many
yeah,
variations.
any variations? Okay, so I got that one done. I'm gonna skip all the way to the last one. Okay, so let's grab all of these layers and collect in a new layer. Let's see.
There we go.
New group from
yeah.
layers. This is gonna be 1. That's right, panel 1. And now we're gonna draw some robots. Boom. And so this robot's gonna have more of a Among Us look. Like that.
Go.
Huh. And I am trying to be careful because the way I want the robots. But Jimmy says, we got to go. We got stuff to do.
Rock and roll, man.
Uh-huh.
Speeding up here a little bit.
And remember, everybody, if you're watching this right now or if you're watching this on the replay, make sure you follow us on Instagram or Twitter, where we will post the link and the final artwork so that you can vote for your favorite. And so get ready for that.
And it's okay to vote for the challenger.
It's okay to vote for Jimmy, Jimmy says.
Oh, see. All right, there we go. I got the DTM blessing.
Uh-huh.
There we go. You have permission.
You have permission. It's a friendly battle. We get bragging rights, that's all.
Yes, we get bragging rights. Then I can come on your stream at some point and be like, remember that time
that I beat
on the
you?
Adobe stream?
Uh-huh.
What are we drawing today again?
Boom. And so my robot looks like those mannequins, that those little wood mannequins you can buy in the art store, so that you can have a pose.
Oh yeah.
You can kind of pose them so that you can draw your characters. There goes the robot. See, this robot is trying to draw. Probably should have like a big pencil. The other way. And he says, "Don't copy me." But I already have the words, "Don't copy me," so I can just copy that.
Do it.
Don't copy me, but I'm copying.
Yeah, that'd be a funny little kind of insider thing inside the comic.
Uh-huh.
One of those you only know about this if you were there type things.
Right.
To the stream.
Mm-hmm. There you go. All right, so we turn down. Oh,
cross hatching in here.
Boom, bam, got it. So there. Once you draw the first one, some of the elements you kind of move them around. And I noticed that in comics, especially some of the strips, that it's like the same drawing in 2 different panels.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe they just change the eye or the mouth or something.
Oh yeah. It's the same thing in animation. You reuse a lot of stuff. A, it's a time saver, and 2, it's just easier to stick with the overall look of a character or something.
There you go.
And bam. All right, I'm on my last final frame for the initial pass.
Uh-oh. Wow, yeah, you drawing fast. I need to get faster. That's my thing. I linger.
I think part of my drawing style is a kind of a reliance on those fast, like intentional short strokes.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and so you get into a style the more you draw, the more you work on something.
Exactly. And then you sort of like, as you go, you constantly backing up and looking, and just you'll go back and go over other stuff to keep it uniform. But yeah, just rolling with it. Like it's that whole thing of letting the don't get bullied, but let the picture sort of dictate like how what you're doing in the moment.
Boom. Yeah, there you go. That's good. That's good. Here it goes. Let's see. Looking good. Yep, I'm down to my last panel, and I'm kind of drawing some of the matrix stuff here.
I think this is the first time I used the eraser the whole time.
Oh yeah, about your challenge. I'm gonna join your challenge. You have a challenge going on. Yeah, you have a challenge going on your live streams. So what's it called, and what is going on there?
The splatterboard challenge. So the challenge is to take an artboard and just fill it up with as many little drawings as possible and make it as colorful as possible. And the rule is no undos and no eraser. If you do need to correct something, you have to do it either by color or by ink. So in other words, you have to draw over it
Draw over it.
to fix it. And it's okay if you like use a color to mask a color to do
Okay.
that. That's fine. But the idea is to get out of the habit of relying on the eraser and the undo button. And for me, as an exercise, it sort of forced me to draw with more intention, like before I even start. And then it's just a fun thing to do as well. It's just you get a lot of drawing done in a short amount of time. And I limit myself when I do it on the streams. I limit myself to about 45 minutes.
Okay.
So it's a fast, like it's a real quick, it's fast. Yeah, it goes by pretty quick.
It's a nice. What happened? It's a nice challenge to yourself. I like that.
Yeah,
I
and
like
it's
that.
getting other people involved too to kind of see what they come up with, and really it's an excuse to use as many different colors as possible in a single piece.
Right. There we go. It's that's good. That's good. I'm gonna have to try it. I saw you challenge me on Threads. I think it was on Threads.
Oh yeah, I called you out on Threads.
You called me out. Yep, yep. And and I'm like, bro, don't you know I got a comic strip to work on, a challenge to finish with Keep Cross, and then
it was part of the mind game.
Yeah, the mind
leading up to this.
You trying to put the pressure on me for real. So yeah, but I'm gonna do it. I like that idea. I think that's a great exercise. It's to get into that practice of drawing and getting faster and smoother and being in the moment.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I do like that. All right, so let's see what we got here. Turn that up. Boom, there it goes too. So I like that idea. I need to focus on just the line work, just get some basic line work in. Later, come back with some detail and then some thicker line weights and stuff. Yeah, It's a good answer. I love the story, says Annika. Melissa says those drawings are great, guys. I'm gonna bring my army to vote, says Melissa.
There you go.
Why? Okay, I'm gonna do work on. Let's see, what do we got now? We're at 3:47 right now. So we got another 10 minutes to go. Less than 10 minutes. So
I got you, man.
Yay. All right. So I need these two. That's three. These three. Make a
We'll go ahead and sign
copy.
it now. There we go.
All right.
I
Oh,
forgot
look
a
at
spot.
you. Okay. You got it. Yeah. So you're gonna turn. Oh, there you go. The hair. All right. New group from layers. Where are you? Here we go. This is panel 4. Boom. And then let's grab all of these and make another copy of that. And go like this. Bam. And this is gonna be new group from layers. We're gonna make this a 2. Okay. And so let's see. And all I'm doing right now while Jimmy is tightening up some details is getting some of the organization out the way, right? So I made a copy, and so that goes right here. That's my other panel, and so now I'm gonna grab this group also. This is panel 3. I like to be organized on some things, so then when I'm drawing, I don't think about it anymore. I don't want to have to finish my drawing and then figure out what happened to the layers. Where are they? What's going on?
All right.
Yeah. That's a lot. So this
All right. I think I'm happy with the initial kind of thin pen. I'm gonna go ahead and start adding weights to this stuff.
Oh, okay. So there's time for some line weights. I gotcha. Yeah.
I like to start with an exaggerated size and then just be real careful. This is where I get a little bit more intentional with like strokes and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I kind of just add just a little. Whoops, didn't curve that enough.
Boom.
Yeah, so like that first pole. And also going into the cross hatching, and then I'll start like kind of blotching like messing up the ink a little bit to kind of like force the cross hatches to come together a little bit in the darker areas.
Mm-hmm. Boom. So I got. Okay. This is a lesson for me. This is a
Kind of like
lesson,
that.
bro. This is a comic strip lesson. I'm learning. I hope everybody out there is learning too.
Yeah.
You better.
You best.
Mm-hmm. You
And
better.
then I'll be able to add like depth and stuff with I'm gonna do this in watercolor.
Oh,
That'll
you're
be
gonna color it with watercolors?
I'm gonna use Kyle's watercolor, the Kyle Webster watercolor brush, the basic one,
Uh-huh.
and I'll just go in, start pushing those colors around, and then if instead of doing like a traditional highlight and shadow where you sort of change the shade, I'll just paint over it initially, and then the second pass I'll figure out what color the light source is and just do a light, overlay of that, and it kind of gives the illusion that light's bouncing off the subject as opposed to sticking to it.
Gotcha. That's good.
And then the further back I go, I try to go less and less on the line weight. Actually, that's too much for that last pole.
Okay.
So this guy in here, I'll go thick in the front and then just let it kind of like breathe in the back like that. Give the illusion of distance. Because really at the end of the day, we're creating these little illusions on paper, right? Or on a screen in this case.
Mm-hmm.
Creating these little illusions of like lines and the marriage of colors and the relationship between them to make the eyes and the brain feel like it's seeing something other than that.
Right.
Not to get too deep, but
no, I see.
do,
Yeah, you're right.
I
Because
think a lot about this stuff.
You're right. No, and I think that's the trick to great illustration is when it's simple, clean, and it's just a few little lines or a line here or there, and it just gives you a sense of depth or that there's something here that your eye instantly recognizes.
Yeah.
But it's still a little abstract, and so that's what my technique was for this fresco on the Sistine Chapel. Is that just a few lines just to get the idea that something is up there.
Yeah.
Boom.
Let your brain kind of invent it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And that's really where you get to me, art is something that's always, it's up for discussion. Like not everybody should agree what they're looking at. And I think that's what distinguishes like, really great art from, just a drawing or whatever is not having a formal opinion, not having that universal opinion about it. Like let people argue, let's make something to get people to argue, if they're arguing over it, I think you've accomplished what you set out to do as an artist. You made people think,
Right. Yeah, and let people interpret it their way. I get it.
Exactly.
That makes sense. Boom. And so here's Michelangelo. He's at the top of the scaffolding. Oh, I need to draw the scaffolding differently. I do like drawing in different layers so that I can always erase and not mess with a layer that already has what I want.
Absolutely.
Come on, there we go. And I love to rotate my canvas. Bam. There we go. Get the scaffolding going on here.
I always forget to do that canvas rotation.
Yeah, no, it's fun,
I'll
man.
just turn my head.
You were turning your
my whole body.
Yeah,
I'll
what?
become a contortionist.
Well, when you have a big screen, I got the 27-inch Surface Studio, and you got the 20-something here
22
one.
inch here on
Yeah,
plus,
so you have a lot of room to move your arm and your body and stuff. It's when you're drawing on the iPad that everything is tight and small, so you
Yes.
gotta.
It's a little more intuitive, I think, to turn the page on iPad as well. Like with the two fingers, you just
Right. Yeah.
rotate the whole page. To me, it feels more natural doing it on that. And on this, I'll just turn my whole body. I'll contort with the pick instead of turning it.
Nice. If you had one piece of advice to give for anyone who's watching this right now and wants to get into some comic art, illustration, drawing in general, what kind of advice would you give them?
I would say there's a couple. I think a couple that work together. Draw every day, or at least as much as possible. But draw as much as possible, right? For me, it's every day. I have to get up. I have to draw every single day. The other thing is, don't worry about what people think about your art. Just do it. And the beautiful thing about it is, you don't have to show anyone if you're not confident in it, or you can just erase it. It's just like music. You don't like something, just record over it. You don't like something in your drawing, just erase it and redraw it.
Right.
Don't worry about what other people think, and just get it out there, and just, definitely, be open to criticism, constructive criticism, and be open to, criticizing yourself and identifying areas where you want to improve, which is much different than just someone straight up not liking your stuff or whatever. But, take to heart from other artists if they have a recommendation or a suggestion that helps with your skill, if it's something that'll work for you. But yeah, draw every day, and don't worry about what other people think. Just get her done.
That's right. There you go. Great piece of advice by Jimmy Flame. Everyone, take a look at the art as we're wrapping it up for today. Please make sure you follow Jimmy Flame 77 on Instagram or Twitter, because that's where you're going to find the link and the final artwork to vote for your favorite comic strip for this week's art battle in Adobe Photoshop and the DTM versus art battle show on Adobe Live. Make sure you follow myself, Delta Tango Mike, so that you can see those links. We will finish the artwork in the next couple of days. You'll see the link pop up, and there'll be a long period of time to vote. So you get to have one vote, only one vote, and then let's see who wins. Thank you so much, Jimmy Flame.
Hey, it was a pleasure being here. Thanks again for having me on, and I'll see you on the flip side.
Catch you on the flip side. That's my line.
Is it?
No, it's all right.
Why do we say the same thing? What is wrong?